Hello, my dears. Daniela here, and welcome to another episode of the Spa Marketing Made Easy podcast. I have such a fun interview for you guys today. I'm talking with Ghada, who is the founder of My Skin Buddy. We met at the NAS Pro event in Boston. I was speaking there, and she had a little booth. And two of my Spa Retail Rockstar students that were at the event, they came up, they said, "You've got to meet Ghada. She's so awesome. You guys would connect so well." And we did. We met. I love her. She is just a beautiful, beautiful human being. So I wanted to share a little bit more about her story, how she founded My Skin Buddy, and she gives really a nice behind the scenes look of what it's actually like to run a device company, because it's not as glamorous as it seems. I know it's like, it just seems like this really, really super cool thing, which it is, but she's traveling a lot. She's doing lots and lots of work behind the scenes to build her business and make her company work specifically for estheticians. So awesome interview. If you don't know Ghada already, then listen, and I'm sure that you will love her. So without further ado, let's go ahead and play that interview. All right, Ghada, welcome to the Spa Marketing Made Easy podcast. I'm so thrilled to have you on.
I am so excited. And I wanted to apologize. I apologized to Daniela already, but we had to come in my room.
Oh, no big deal. Getting it done. As a business owner, you do what you have to do. It's so funny that you're like having that experience, because right before I posted on Instagram, right before we started recording this, my computer is set up on my daughter's high chair. So it's like, as a small business owner, you do what you have to do to make things happen. But your room is, your bed's perfectly made. So looks good. Today
it looks good for this podcast. So. But yeah.
Well, so you are the founder of My Skin Buddy. For those of you who don't know what that is, do you want to tell a little bit about this awesome little device?
Sure. So My Skin Buddy, I created for personal use to start, really. I've just been in the industry for 20 years and working with skincare companies for 15. And I decided to create something for myself. It's a multifunction device because at the end of the day, I don't have enough time to do everything. So it's like, I want something one-stop shop. And it does cleansing, product penetration, LED light therapy, all in one little guy.
So I had heard about My Skin Buddy, in Facebook groups and all over just people talk about it. And then at the NAS Pro event that we were both at, two of my Spa Retail Rockstar students, they were like, "You've got to meet Ghada. You've got to try the My Skin Buddy. It's so cool. I love it." Da, da, da. And so I was like, all right. And we did that test on my hands, and it was insane.
Yeah.
The difference. But I totally feel you with the, even as estheticians, in the product graveyard under the sink, I've got a Clarisonic, I've got the New Face, I've got all these devices, and they just end up under there because you don't want to have 10 devices just sitting on your countertop with all of your products as well. You want it to look neat and organized, and, then they just end up under there, especially as a mom now with a 2-year-old. It's like, if I get, 10 minutes at the end of the day to do my skincare routine, I'm thrilled.
Yeah.
So it's so nice to have everything all in one.
Yeah. I mean, it's awesome. If you can do everything, that's really great, but it all comes down to compliancy, right? You need consistency. And for me, I knew that there was something there because at the end of the day, I'm so exhausted. And sometimes we're like, okay, let's just manually do it. So when I was addicted to how my skin felt and I was compliant, when I was personally compliant, I knew that other people would be. So,
and your skin is amazing. I'm staring at this glimmer. It's like this.
I hate my skin. I hate it.
No.
Yeah, but it takes a lot of work. when you're in the industry, like it really takes a lot of work. Like I'm very acne prone. I hyperpigment easily. It just takes the right products, takes the right routine, consistency. So when people are like, your skin is awesome, I'm like, I hate it. I wish it was naturally awesome, but it takes a lot of work.
Nothing is naturally awesome.
Yeah.
Except maybe like ice cream
or
something. What's naturally awesome, it's always like, you have to go to the gym to be in shape. You have to do personal development to have like a healthy mind or to grow into the best version of yourself. It's always something, it's a commitment to doing it. So, but I think you need to just accept the compliment.
Thanks. I will take it because I work hard, and you have to go to the gym, you got to work out, you got to eat healthy. So it takes a lot, and we don't wake up like this, right?
No. Sorry if you guys hear my dog rustling in the background, talking about the like done is better than perfect. Stella's just enjoying her nap right there too. So Ghada, one of the things that I really wanted to talk to you about on this episode today, I think there's a lot of people that know about My Skin Buddy, that love My Skin Buddy. I know that you created this company with the esthetician in mind. I know you do a lot of awesome things like no minimum orders and drop shipping and really cool stuff like that really helps benefit the solo esthetician and spa owner. Yeah. But I want to take a look really more at like, what is your day-to-day like? Because I think that there's this fascination with like, wow, it's so glamorous. You like created this device or you created, like, what is your life like? But the reality is we were talking before, you sometimes don't know what city you're waking up in.
Yeah, exactly. So I know it just, we make it look easy, right? But it's total chaos. And it's, you have to structure yourself. There's a lot of personalities to deal with. You have to build a team. You have to collaborate with people. You have to, it's all about teamwork at the end of the day. It's not you as a person. There's like people behind the scenes and also joining forces with rock stars too, because you really have to align with people that have the same vision as you. And that's really hard. Like, it's really hard to like hire people to have the same passion and drive and work ethic. Like, work ethic is so hard to find. I don't know. It's just a constant, like, go, wake up at 6 a.m, get my workout in, because like you said, it's all about self-development too. Because if your mind and body's not strong, like, I'm a mess.
It's such a big piece that I don't think is talked about as much, because so many estheticians have they have these big dreams, right? They're like, I want to, move from solo into a spa, and they're getting overwhelmed and they're getting stressed out. And it's the same kind of thing, like hiring a team, dealing with different personalities, making sure that you're balanced. Sometimes the most simple thing is like blocking out time for you to exercise and for you to eat healthy. I know I overcommitted myself big time this year. And I was actually telling my spa retail rockstars, I did a whole Facebook Live about my calendar audit because I was so proud because it changed my life. I was like, I went through, and like I will show you my Google Calendar. I went through all of 2020. Every lunch is marked out. Every workout is marked out. Every Facebook Live, every coaching call, everything that I need to do is in there, so that when opportunities come up, I can immediately say, yes, this works, or no, it doesn't. Because me being full is the most important thing. Yeah, exactly. So why don't you walk us through kind of the beginning of like, I know you created this device for yourself, but what was it? How did you know how to find a manufacturer and do all of that stuff? Because with skincare, there's, stock formulas, there's lots of labs, even with supplements, there's like private label labs, but creating a device is like this whole other beast. Yeah. So I've been in the industry for 15 years. So I started with skincare companies. I worked for laser companies. So I really had a lot of access to go into all the trade shows, meeting a lot of people, meeting a lot of engineers, just learning. Like, it wasn't an overnight
things. So people always say like, wow, Skin Buddy, in just 3 years, you're like, it's going viral. But it took me so long to gather all that information and study, but also I study what the client wants as well. So I also want to know what my clients need too. So while I'm out there at the trade shows, I used to collect information for them because they couldn't go to the trade shows. And really, it's all about gathering that information. And then it was really timing. It was just with the last company I worked for, I said, that's it. I think I'm ready to go. I have all the information collected that I need to know. And I started researching manufacturers. Of course, like Cosmoprof is a huge convention in Vegas every year, and all manufacturers from all over the world come in. So it's really about meeting people, talking, getting samples done, and
yeah, networking. I think that that's such an important piece because when I started my company, 5 years ago, one of my very first clients was Skin Medica, because I started solely as a consulting company for physician dispensed skincare. And people are like, holy cow, how did you get Skin Medica as a client? And as one of your very first things? And it was all through connections and networking and keeping those relationships strong. And then the industry is very small. So as you work with one company, then you get recommended to the other company and so on and so forth. But I think we underestimate how important really maintaining those relationships are in business. And you never know, like I never want to burn a bridge, because you never know when, that could come back to bite you in the butt,
Yeah. And it's all about credibility too, right? So you're being referred because you're a credible source. So throughout my career, I always chose companies that I really fell in love with their products. So I never sold something I didn't like. So I feel like credibility, integrity too goes a long way in our industry. Like you said, it's really small. So whenever I moved to another company or I started consulting for someone else, my clients immediately would say, give me one. I don't even care. Like, I know that I trust you. I trust your credibility and trust that you looked into it. Send me a product. So actually, when I started Skin Buddy, I didn't tell anybody that I was the owner. So a lot of my clients from like 10 years were like, oh, they thought I was just a rep for this new company I chose. So they were like, Ghada, send me one. So I just kept it secret. And
when did you finally let the cat out of the bag?
I didn't want to let it out of the bag because I was never ever salesy in my life. Like, I'm all about education and showing you something and how it works. And then you can decide on your own. I really never wanted to be the face of my brand. I just wanted to build a brand, keep it secret, stay behind the scenes. And then, I don't know, a year later, I think people were like, who's this girl?
Of your brand, my dear.
I know. And it's like, that's not my intention. I was like, what happened? I'm supposed to be a secret. And so it just got out. And I was like, all right, fine.
I think it's really hard because people connect with the story too.
Yeah.
And it is that credibility and like you do have 15 years of experience or 20 years of experience that went behind this device. So it's, it is a piece of it rather. And I think that that's what makes it more powerful, and people like to connect with people, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So when did you start moving in? Now I know you spend a lot of your time traveling all around the country, going to the different trade shows, speaking at different conferences. What is that like?
Oh my gosh, I'm not even supposed to speak, Daniela. Like, I don't know how it happened. I'm so like camera shy. I hate cameras. And I don't know, just this whole year has been surreal. Like, I wake up every day and I'm like, I really don't have, how is this my job? This is so weird. So I don't know. I just work really hard and it just happens. I travel every few weeks. Now we started doing like extra webinars because I really want to give more education for my clients. I just put it on my schedule like you do, and I just show up.
Yep. If it's on the calendar, then you're committed. That's like If it's there, it's like one of those, I'm one of those people that if there's like a notification on my phone, I lose my mind. Like I can't have all those little bubbles. And if it's on the calendar, it's must happen. And so that's my accountability. So, but how are you running all this? Do you have a team that's helping you manage? Because it seems like this behemoth.
Oh my gosh. Okay. So I started my Skin Buddy on my own. It's probably like a whole year I did it on my own. And then a year later, I connected with a friend of mine. I met him through the industry about 10 years ago. We had dinner and there was no intention behind the dinner except like a friend dinner. And 2 days later, he called and he said, I want in. So he is awesome at business management, stuff that I don't want to do. And I realized after a year that it was so overwhelming. I can't do it on my own. I need a team. So I brought him on. Now, within 3 months of working together, we had to get a warehouse and a shipping center. And
so he's good at what he does.
He's awesome. I love him. So Lou is my partner. If you follow me on Instagram, we do. I tag him a lot. So follow Sweet Lou. He's awesome. He travels the world. So it's really cool because he does management, all the paperwork I don't want to do, and I'm more creative, and it just works. You need to find like a camaraderie, right?
I think that's something that's so important in business. And I talk a lot about this with solo estheticians is like, you've got to hire because the stuff, you can't do everything. You're not good at everything. Yeah. And when you can focus, I call it your $1,000 an hour task. So you've got $10 an hour, $100 an hour, and $1,000 an hour tasks. And the $1,000 an hour tasks are your zone of genius. And if you can delegate out those other things, your light is going to shine so much more. Your business is going to do so much better that you're not bogged down in all the things that make you crazy. I love spreadsheets, but I love the business side of things. But, I feel like now I have Annie, who's my director of operations, who is way better at spreadsheets than me. And it's amazing. Like if I can pass off these things, then it's like, all right, now I can really focus on my zone of genius and the business grows. And I guess for you, that got you a whole warehouse in 3 months. So it's clearly working.
Yeah. I mean, it's really like I talk to a lot of people. So it's really hard to trust people with your baby. Mm-hmm. But in order to grow, you have to. Like you're going to not always choose the right people, but you have to start trusting that you can delegate and have others take over those tasks or you're not going to grow. So even if it's as simple as social media, like you can't do it all. So hire somebody, worst case, fire them, get somebody else, right? Mm-hmm.
So what was the driver behind, I know you're really focused on being a huge support to estheticians, and where did that focus come from? Like most companies don't do minimum orders. Most companies, there's so much detail in your packaging. When you were showing me the box that gets shipped to the patient, it was like super cute, very unique. So where did this all come from? Is this just inside of you, things that you've developed over the years, or how did that work?
So I've been in the field so long as a sales rep, and being like, when they say like undercover boss, you have that show, the boss goes in, he really doesn't know what's going on with the customers. So I feel like I had an advantage because I worked in the field for so long. So I was in every spa, I was listening to every esthetician and what they wanted. So I felt like Skin Buddy was like just all around for the esthetician, for the spa to help them make money. I was like, okay, well, with the industry going where it is, some people can't afford that huge opening order. So why not create something that is going to give them a high margin, no minimum? I'm going to work really hard so you can profit and we can all grow together. So every part of my Skin Buddy is really to help my clients grow. And I feel like we need to grow as a family. Right. And we're very loyal to our clients. So we never discount. We try to push all the consumers straight to the spas. We don't want the direct sales because I just feel like estheticians give a better consultation. Really, teamwork makes the dream work, right? I feel like if you don't grow together, it's going to be a quick company, quick buck. And I'm not about
there was your Instagram quote. Teamwork makes the dream work.
Yeah, it's true though. I mean, it's true. If you're not going to work with people,
there's that one quote that I see all the time. If you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. And it's that same concept as like, you've got to connect with other people. You've got to support other people in this industry. And that's what I love seeing is when women and businesses really do work together to support one another and help them grow.
Yeah, it's been awesome.
So what is your vision? Where do you want to be in 5 years? Where do you see My Skin Buddy?
You
didn't know we were going to...
I want to be on an island. No. Like I love being creative. Like I have like so many ideas that I want to work on. I'm creating a bunch of other tools.
So more devices or like skincare lines or just like accompanying products?
No, I'm going to work on skincare devices. Whatever comes about. Like if there's something that we find, when it comes to skincare, I leave that to the experts. Unless it's something amazing that we find that's going to be patented. I prefer not to, but My Skin Buddy really plays well with all the skincare lines. So the reason I didn't come out with a skincare line is because I wanted to help my estheticians sell whatever they had on the shelf. So if I had a skincare line, that was going to take away from that. So nothing about My Skin Buddy is taken away from your business. So it complements every device that you have and complements all the skincare so you can sell it. So I see myself creating awesome stuff and building like the Avengers of a team. That's how I think.
I love that. Yeah, I think devices like My Skin Buddy, when we're talking like in our Facebook groups and coaching groups and stuff like that, there's a lot of estheticians that are looking at like, what's something cool that I can do to market? What's something fun that I can do at an event or whatever? And devices like My Skin Buddy, like it's so powerful just to put a serum on the hand, do a quick cleanse, put the serum, use the device. It's interesting. It's eye-catching. It makes a big difference. It's quick. It's easy cleanup. So it's one of those things that you could do like at a local boutique, like doing, like hand facials or being in the lobby or like having like an add-on for an eye or lip treatment and using that device. It makes it more interesting. So there's a lot that you can do if you get creative with these different types of devices. And then there's a lot of people I think that love having something that they can do at home. People would always ask me when I was still practicing, like, should I be using a mask every night? Like everyone's like was really into masks. And I was like, use this device, like use the, it's like, take this home. And that just became this like whole other level of excitement for them because then they felt like they could do something at home too.
Mm-hmm. And it's such we can't say the price because we don't want consumers knowing the price, but it's so affordable and your return on investment is one facial or one sale. And I recommend all my clients use it in every single facial. Don't even give them an option because it feels really nice. The heat is very like warm, it makes you feel connected to your client because they feel relaxed. And I think that just little extra things in your facial makes a big difference in connection with your client.
Yeah.
And even I tell, like you said, like the hand demo that we did in just 2 minutes, you saw a big difference.
There were so many comments on that post and the whole rest of the day, because how like I flew in and out of Boston that same day. And when you fly, your skin just is like a disaster. But I got home that night and I was looking at my hands and I was like, holy cow, this one still looks awesome. Now I'm like, oh man, I better go do that again because my hands are needing some love. So I'm looking at them now, but it's a really cool device, and it's one of those things that gives visible results. And that is so, so powerful for our clients and for our patients to be able to see that kind of instant gratification. So very good.
Mm-hmm.
Good job.
Yeah. And that's what they want.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Totally. So anything else you want to add to share with our estheticians, for anyone who's thinking about My Skin Buddy, for anyone who's thinking about starting a device of their own? What kind of advice or feedback would you give?
I would say, don't be another Me Too company. Find something different, like something that is a need in the industry, right? So don't just, I talk to a lot of people and they're like, oh, I want to come out with a lipstick, and it's like they don't know what's involved in it. So I think just find something different and be good at it, but don't try to, I guess, stay in your own lane, be creative. I think a lot of people try to copy and try to, I don't know what I'm saying. What am I saying, Danielle? I'm just saying.
No, I think that you're saying to find what you're most passionate about. Do something that you truly believe in, rather than just saying, oh, I'm going to do this because I think I'll make a bunch of money. Because the reality is it's a crazy life, but there's so much. That's one of the things I love about this industry is there's so many directions that you can go in, from starting your own skincare line, starting your own device line, being a product rep, all the different niches of estheticians, from lash artist, microblader, spray tanner, like everything under the sun. There's so much that you can do. So figure out what drives you to the point that you'll do a podcast with your daughter's high chair, or that you'll do a podcast in your bedroom, or that you'll travel all around. You'll do whatever it takes to make that vision a reality. And maybe that's facials. Maybe that's being a solo esthetician. Maybe it's starting a spa. But it's really just about finding what drives you. It's so important, because it does take a lot of energy.
And also, find what drives you, but also find what people love about you, right? Mm-hmm. So for you, you inspire people, right? So it took probably years for you to tune in to be like, wow, people are listening to me, right? So now okay, well, when I'm in the spa and my clients are finding me credible and they're asking me for so much advice on how to help them with their business. So I went from a skincare rep to, okay, let me help her with her website or her Instagram, or, so I was like, oh my gosh, I'm turning more into a consultant more than that. So then you have to kind of pay attention to what people love about you too. Like, what is your craft, right? So if you're an esthetician and you have so many acne clients, so now you're like, wow, I'm really awesome at the acne clients, So master that craft and be awesome at that, right? So then kind of follow those little signs, I guess.
Yeah, that takes a lot of introspection. You have to really analyze, because a lot of times people will think that they're good at this one thing, but they're like, all of, this is what's happening, For me with the podcast, at that NAS Pro event, I had 3 different women come up to me and tell me, and they were crying, literally crying, and told me how the podcast changed their life. And then I had another gal at our event, our AMS event that we just had last week, said, I count on that podcast every Monday. Aww. So when I hear those things, it's like, all right, well, pulling out the baby chair, we're going to do it. We're going to do it no matter what, because it's something that it does help people. It does inspire people, so it is important to be keyed into those things.
I know. I was there. The lady was at my table and you came over and you took her away from my speech, Daniela. And she was she was so cute. Yeah. So I did witness that, and that was really sweet. And that's awesome. And that's fulfilling to see that, but you don't realize it because you're just in the motion of stuff. Yeah. So sometimes when you hear that, for example, yesterday I was with a friend and he just mentioned a client that I worked with 5 years ago. And he's like, I just want to tell you, She praises you all the time. She said you're the reason her business is where it's at. And I'm like, really? I'm like, that's crazy. She's like, even when she's drunk, she talks about you. And I was like, that's kind of sweet.
You made an impact.
I know. It's so funny. So.
Oh, good. Well, we will include all of your links below the show, but where can people find you, follow you, hang out with you online?
Yeah, so you can find us on Instagram at My Skin Buddy. And then you can find me and follow my personal page if you like. And it's at Ghada Jamal. And then Facebook is My Skin Buddy as well. Or go to myskinbuddy.com and then all the social media stuff is in there.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much for your time, Ghada. It was such a pleasure. And I know that all of our listeners are going to love getting to know you a little bit better.
Oh, thank you for having me.